All right. Are we live? Are we live, folks? Are we back? Are we fully back in here? Yes, we are. Yo, what's up? All right. Is everything working? Let's check this audio out real quick. Improvisational, right off the cuff. Is the audio working? Let's get it done. Let's check this out. Is Lalo live? He isn't yet. How the fuck am I not live is my question. Am I retarded? Can I get a Down syndrome check? No fucking way. Am I not live? Broski, no fucking way. Come on, what? Nigga, am I not live myself? That would be basically the end of my life. Dude. There's no way I'm not live at this point. How is it not showing? I'm getting hacked. I'm kidding. Holy shit. Let's get the... How is it not showing? Okay, the audio's fine. Okay, we got it. Okay, it's working. All right, so we're going to react to Nikki Haley on the Breakfast Club because obviously that is going to be one of the more pressing things in the news cycle coming up. This came out 2 days ago, believe it or not. I saw Vince Dow covered it, so I'm like, damn, I need to react to this live because these are something. Look, I was doing my job not even a week ago, and I saw Vivek Ramaswamy on it, and I saw Vivek, and I was like, damn, okay. So think about it. It's an antagonistic group of couple, like it's like 3 or 4 different, like, you know, blacks and Latinos that are like pro Biden, even though obviously Biden is terrible. And they're pressing the Republicans on their presumptive policies. They hate Donald Trump. They have a hate boner that you would think is fueled by like 20 shots of tequila mixed with fentanyl laced Viagra. And so you would think it's a little bit out of place for these guys who probably care about rap music to hate Donald Trump so much, and yet they do. And it seems like anybody who is even close to Republican is going to get tarred and feathered. And so let's just get right into this video. Now, the first 5 seconds, and again, I've not seen a single second past the 4-second mark as to what's going on here, but you're going to recognize
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Okay, wake that ass up. So it's very Ebonic laden, and so just that informs everything. Because normally you have like some old white person like Donald Trump is bad for democracy, but you know this time you're gonna hear it as like Donald Trump, man, that fool bad for democracy and shit, dog. Man, Donald Trump is a fool. Okay, let's go.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Republican presidential candidate,
Nikki
former governor
Haley.
of South Carolina.
Nikki Haley.
That's right.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
All is good. I can't complain. Listen, South Carolina's still proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I read recently that you got swatted.
So I'm assuming he's from South Carolina. Look, nobody knows. Nobody really knows what's going on there. He doesn't know, for example, that obviously, like, for example, I don't even know that he's from there. I had no idea. And I've watched dozens of these shows, especially the one with Soulja Boy. That's like the best episode. But yet she's doing her research. There's no way she listens to this. So she's trying to kiss ass. Okay, she's a very fake person. Let's go on.
Twice. Since the end of December?
Twice.
They were targeting high-profile politicians?
Yeah, and you know the hard part about that is I wasn't home, but we take care of my parents.
Yeah.
They're 87 and 90. And when you have 25 people show up with guns drawn
Jesus.
to them, like what's happened to our country? Come on. I mean, we can't keep living like this. It's not normal. It's not healthy. There's nothing good about what's happening right now in the country. And look, we have a chance to change that. That's what I'm trying to do.
They didn't kick down the door or anything like that, or did they?
They saw my parents through the window. They told them to put their hands up.
Jesus.
They came through the door, and I mean, immediately, like my parents had their hands up, and they came in and separated them, talked to them.
The fuck are they even talking about?
It was a traumatic
Twice,
situation,
though.
but twice.
Wow.
The second time they didn't come in because it had happened once before, so they were more cautious. The first time it was full on.
Maybe she's complaining about being swatted, but the thing is that she is pro everybody doxing themselves. She basically said that nobody should be anonymous on the internet and that everybody needs to go by their full name or whatever's on their driver's license for the internet purposes. And while she says that it's so that people don't troll or like be nasty on the internet, I mean, that's just basically, you guys remember SpongeBob, like Nickelodeon.com circa 2008. I mean, that's the sort of vibe like, oh, the kids, they got to be so wholesome. I mean, that's insane. Because in a way, when you really look at it, you know, like to self-dox is retarded in a way because, and it's, you know, I've been in a contrarian position supporting Nikki Haley because I think she's mildly attractive when you're drunk, at least. I haven't done that yet. I haven't gotten drunk and looked at her. But I will say, completely sober, that, I mean, if you look over the skin acne, the acne scar she has, I mean, she's decent looking. And what was I gonna say? Basically, I was defending her position on the doxing because I felt like, okay, well, it is true that if people had to go by their real names, then they'd probably be a lot more effective with their use of the internet, and they probably wouldn't be trolling or making spam accounts or bot accounts. But I don't know how that works. But at the end of the day, she's getting doxed, or sorry, she's getting swatted because she doxed herself. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, a lot of people are gonna have the same problem going forward if her policy were to be seen into fruition.
They didn't know.
Wow. How did that make you feel?
Look, the reason I'm doing this, I don't want my kids to live like this. I know we're better than this. I grew up in a small rural town.
Dead Treb says Tom Pure yapping from who? Nikki?
And we took care of each other. It was neighbors taking care of neighbors. And there was just something simple about it. And there was just something that was good. You genuinely wanted to take care of people. And we've lost that. I mean, right now you see hatred, you see division, you see anger. I mean, you see these things where they're trying to like undercut people. And it's just, it was exacerbated after COVID. But it's all the more reason why we need to go back and say, wait a minute. Stop taking all this so personally. This isn't personal. This is just about getting our country back on track.
But swatting is personal, though. If I call somebody's house, if I say, hey, this is going down at this house, that was personal.
Well, I mean, it's personal from a political perspective. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's a blood sport to run for office these days. But yeah, I mean, it is. But it goes to show why, and it's why I'm so determined to finish this.
Yeah.
Is because I know America's better than this.
But do you lose the love for it, right? You just told us some of the reasons why you want to do this, right? And then you talk about some of the sides that are against that, right? You want to do it because you said you want to help people. You want to be the person that, what you grew up on and what you wanted to see. But then you talk about them swatting your house, which is making your life miserable and your parents' life. And your parents could have had a heart attack, you know? Then you talk about Donald Trump attacking you the way that he's attacking you. I mean, they dive into your personal life. They dive into an alleged affair. They dive into anything that you've ever
Ooh, the
done
affair.
or allegedly have ever done.
Yeah, so she apparently has cheated on her husband like 4 times. According to people that say that. I haven't looked into it, but that's
your
crazy.
Life. And when does it get to the point you be like, excuse me, part of my French, but fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, I mean, it's all lies. But what they don't realize is politics is the art of distraction. The more they do that, the more motivated I get. Because it's everything that's wrong with politics. It's everything that's wrong in this country that we have to clean up. So I do this. I'll take the pain. I'll take whatever it is. I'm a tough girl. I can handle it. Politics is not personal for me. This is about the fact that we can't be okay with our country like this. We can't be okay with 2 80-year-olds running for president. We can't be okay with the fact that, look, the 75% of Americans are saying they don't want a Trump-Biden rematch. The majority of Americans disapprove of Trump and disapprove of Biden. Both these fellas put us trillions of dollars in debt that our kids are never going to forgive them.
You mean disapprove? Again, I wouldn't nitpick that, but then again, she's like, well, they're 80, implying they have dementia, but then she can't even speak right. Do you think Trump would fuck that up? I don't think so.
At what point do we not say, you know what, maybe we need to go with a new generational leader? These older guys.
Nobody's ever looked at her and said generational leader. They say that because she's like the only girl, like, oh, wow, she's a smart girl. But I mean, there's nobody saying, oh, she's the best one of them all. Just on that own merit. No,
of course not. Don't want to let go of the power. That's what this has always been. But the problem is, look at what happened after the New Hampshire election. So we got 43%. We started with 14 candidates in the race. One by one, we got rid of the fellas, right? So then it's me and Trump going in. I started with 2% in Iowa. I ended up with 20%. We go to New Hampshire, we get 43%. Now, the way to look at that is Trump.
I would vote third party if Haley got the nomination, such a femboid. I mean, yeah, she's so ditzy. Well, not even ditzy. She's just a boss bitch, but also not even that. It's really hard to peg down. It's really mommy.
As an incumbent, didn't get 43%. He's so upset, he throws a temper tantrum on stage and talks about revenge. Then the next day, he says anybody that supports Nikki Haley is not going to be part of MAGA. If you're running for president, this is a story of addition. You should want everybody. You shouldn't push anybody away. And so, we had fun. We've always had fun with it. So we did these barred permanently T-shirts. We sold 15,000 T-shirts. Then the next day, he goes and pushes the Republican Party to say that he's the nominee to get me out. We don't do coronations in this country. 2 states have voted. You need 1,215 delegates. He has 32. I have 17. This is far from over. We're not giving up. And this is
It's over as fuck. It's over. I don't even know why she's still in the race other than for like the outside chance that Trump has a stroke. I mean, it's literally that desperate. She's just hoping that he ends up in prison and that somehow doesn't help him, even though most likely it would. And she's hoping that he has a stroke. So, I mean, literally the 2% chance either of those things happen.
Everything that's wrong. The chaos of all of this is everything that's wrong in our country. And you look, we lost.
Imagine. It's like if you worked just as hard as the other person, just so that on the off chance that that other person calls in sick into work, that you get to be in the shine for a day. Just imagine. You call in sick, like maybe a week out of the year. So realistically, it's a 2% chance that you'll on any given day, get put in during a sick day. And so, I mean, that's basically what she's doing. Like on the off chance Trump has a stroke, that's what's happening. Dead Treb says she's a Democrat running to waste Republican resources at the end of the day. Yeah, she's a hindrance because at this point, Trump has won the election. Any money that he spends on the primary now is just a waste, obviously, because he's going to win. But it's only because she's still in the race.
5 amazing souls. 3 soldiers in Iraq and Syria, and then you've got the 2 Navy SEALs. And this is what we're doing?
What do you think the response to that should be?
Well, I think, first of all, look at how we got here. This would never have happened if Biden wouldn't have fallen all over himself to get back in the Iran deal. When he lifted the sanctions, you sent billions of dollars to Iran's proxies, Hamas, Houthis, and Hezbollah. And what do? They don't take care of their people. They go and they say death to America. Then my husband's deployed right now. We expect America to take care of our men and women when they're overseas.
Wait.
He didn't do.
Her husband is in his 50s, right? How the fuck is he deployed? And in what meaningful way would that be if he's not even like holding a gun or anything?
Something after the first strike. He didn't do something after the second strike. 165 strikes. Dozens of people injured with brain injuries. And you're waiting for people to die to do something? That's not what you do. What we should do is put the sanctions back on immediately. The second thing is go take out the operations where they're sending these drones and missiles from in Iraq and Syria. And then thirdly, go after the military commanders making these decisions. Take out 1 or 2 of those IRGC members. That's what will get their attention. You don't.
Okay, you see what she's doing? So she's saying bomb Iran, bomb Syria, bomb Iraq, and then go and assassinate a couple of the people that are leading Iran. So basically what Trump did times 2.
Have to go bomb Iran. This is not about hitting hard. It's about hitting smart. That's what we need to do.
You know, you mentioned the numbers in New Hampshire and the numbers in Iowa. And it's clear to me that when you look at those numbers, Republicans are looking for something different. A lot of Republicans are looking for something different. So why are conservatives willing to just turn the Republican Party over to MAGA?
You know, I think that I voted for Trump twice. I was proud to serve America in his administration. I think people see that he never got an ounce of credit or a moment's peace. And they see him in these fights and they think that they need to show him thank you by being with him. But if you look at that, the speech after New Hampshire, or even the court cases and all that, he never talks about the American people. He never talks about what we're going to do to get this wasteful spending out of the way and get our economy back on track. He never talks about how we're going to get our kids reading again and go back to the basics in education. He never talks about securing the border, unless he's saying stop it because I don't want it to happen until the election. I mean, he never talks about law and order in this country. He doesn't talk about these wars. That's what you got to be talking about. And honestly, with Biden and Trump, they care more about their investigations and themselves than they do about what we need to do in the country. And that's every reason why we need to go in a new direction.
Why did you vote for him twice? If you feel this way about Trump, why did you feel that you had to vote for him twice?
The reason I voted for him the first time was it was clear that our country needed a self-correction. Trump was good at breaking things. We needed to break some things. We needed to rattle the cages. And then
Dead Trump says, first of all, he's a National Guard. He's in the National Guard. No idea where he'd be deployed to. Secondly, she was cheating on him while he was overseas, Lamau. Yeah, that seems to line up. That's crazy.
You know, the second time I voted for him is I didn't want Biden. I saw that Biden was Obama 2.0. And
if you look at her husband, he's a bald guy. I could see why she'd cheat on him. So that makes sense.
I didn't want to take that chance of where he was going to take us. I knew they wanted to get back in the Iran deal. I knew that they weren't serious about closing the border. I knew that the wasteful spending that we had seen was going to happen. And so I voted for Trump thinking that he was going to do more of the same. But the reality is now, chaos follows Donald Trump. Everywhere he goes, chaos follows him. And we can't be a country in disarray and a world on fire and go through 4 more years of chaos. We won't survive it. There will be a first female president. It's either going to be Kamala Harris or it's going to be me. And it should send a chill up everyone's spine thinking about the fact that it would be Kamala Harris.
Why wouldn't you vote for Hillary in 2016?
Because I don't agree with anything that Hillary has said. I don't know that there's any policies of hers that I agree with. And so for me, look, the reason I'm running now is because I'm an accountant. I think it's finally time we have an accountant in the White House. I'm a two-term governor that took a double-digit unemployment.
How the hell is she an accountant, but she's in politics? It doesn't even make sense. You know, because if you're a lawyer, you could aspire to be a politician like I do. But I mean, realistically speaking, as an accountant, that doesn't even track, right? Like what? Really?
State and turned it into an economic powerhouse. I dealt with Russia, China, and Iran every day at the UN. I know what it takes to prevent war. And I think it's time that we have somebody that's a new generational leader that's not looking at the past, but actually looking at solutions going forward.
Now, you talk about your policies and some of the policies and the things that you stand on. You also said that you felt like Biden would have been, I guess, Obama 2.0. What didn't you like about the Obama administration that you would have changed immediately? Like, what were you against?
There are
and you said something about Kamala. I want to ask why you said if Kamala was president, why would send chills down your spine?
So a couple of things. I think with Obama, that was, if you go back, that's when we really started to feel the division. That's when it was.
A lot of that was because of white supremacists, though.
No, I think it was everything. Everything was exaggerated with the Obama administration. It became more about gender. It became more about race. It became more about separating Americans instead of bringing them together.
That was because of the right-wing media, though. Well, they were scared to death of a black president.
Look, I don't think everybody is at fault. I'm not saying that one person did this, but I'm saying under that administration, it really did cause some. People felt like they were being put in camps through that administration. The second thing is, I saw he was very much an Iranian sympathizer. He very much kept wanting to support and do things with Iran. I think that's incredibly dangerous. This is a culture that says death to America, and you have to always be careful. A lot of spending happened on his watch that started us down that spiral. And then Obama did a lot of things by executive order. And that really started he did a lot by executive order. Then Trump came in and reversed it all by executive order. Then Biden went and reversed it all there. You've got to do it the hard way. You got to get Congress to come together and do those things because that makes it permanent. So what that did is that created leaders from around the world saw you just wait out a president. But more than that, people got used to just quick fixes instead of coming together and doing the hard work. So it was more about.
Okay, thus far you can track that I'm zoning out because she's not bringing anything new to the table. There's no charisma. With Vivek Ramaswamy, there was an actual affectatious sort of way of delivering messages about political significance that are penultimately actually resonating with the people listening to the podcast. People in the comment section were actually finding out that, you know what, actually these liberal talking points are retarded, and therefore agreeing with Vivek. Whereas with Nikki Haley, she's okay at speaking, maybe a notch better than Ron DeSantis, but then again, there's nothing compelling about what she is explicating here.
What do we need to do to move us forward in a way that we're lifting up everybody, not a select few? That's when I started to see it. Kamala, it's from an experience standpoint.
Okay. Dead Treb says there is a reason why 20% of politicians are women, despite the very obvious 50-50 split in the male-female population in the U.S. Men do not vote for women. I don't think that glass ceiling will break it all. No way. Yeah, basically.
I mean, she's never been a governor. She's never had executive experience. She was a senator for a couple of years. But the things that Biden gave her, she didn't do anything with them. The border, she didn't do anything. I've spent more time at the border than she spent at the border. When it came to artificial intelligence, he gave her that. She didn't do anything with it. America's behind everybody else when it comes to artificial intelligence. I just haven't seen her do anything. She went to overseas. He sent her to a foreign policy conference. She should have been talking about how we're going to have more allies with Philippines and India and South Korea and Japan and all that. She didn't say anything, and China just had their way with that conversation. It's not about her personally. It's about the fact that we are looking at a dangerous time in our country. This is not the time to go and put somebody in there and say, oh, we're going to do this because. You do it because we've got to get the right person in there and stop with the labels and stop with the division and stop with who's in which camp and start focusing on how we're going to.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? My stream got taken down? Oh my fucking God, really? Oh my fucking God. Really?